All right.
Hey guys, it is Justin here with Wellness Business Secrets, and I'm here with my good friend Lindsay Kirby from Sculpt Wellness. And we've been on the podcast together before, but she's here at CryoCon. And what was the topic of your talk yesterday?
Bootstrapping from a used machine to seven-figure revenue.
So what does bootstrapping mean to you?
It means I had no money and I just took whatever cash we could scrounge up, which was not very much. And it was my boyfriend at the time, my now husband, was so tired of hearing me go on and on and on about wanting to bring these red lights to Tri-Cities, Washington, that I think he did it just to shut me up about it. Because I had discovered these red light body sculpting lights. They were called, their Lipo Light is the original name. And I just was obsessed with it and kept saying, like, no one has that here, and that would be so cool. And he had sold his house and had some extra money, and that was, like, all the extra money he had, though. And he literally gave me $10,000. Was like, go get the machine because I'm so tired of you talking about it.
And look where you are now.
Yeah. And so, it was funny.
So talk me through, you get a machine, because I'm just laughing because I've been on this entrepreneurial brick and mortar journey, but you get the machine. What happens next? How does that process go for you?
Yeah, then it's like, oh my gosh, and you just do have this big dream, and it's, people are going to love this. And then it's like, but where do we find people? How do we tell them about it? I had no business background. I'm a registered nurse by trade. And I had been working actually in a med spa doing like nurse injecting stuff. And I actually had been fired from that job because I wouldn't stop talking about these red lights and the detox tea and all this stuff. And it was more like she let me go. And what she told me was that she didn't think I was aligned, and that it seemed like I was more passionate about natural wellness, not so much the like injectables and those kind of things. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And so I said that in my talk yesterday, that part of scaling as you grow a business is learning to let people go if they don't seem aligned, because you're probably right.
You're not firing them, you're freeing up their future. Like, imagine if you'd stayed there. I mean, how terrible would that have been?
Oh my gosh. And at the time, Chad would tell me, I remember when I called him and I was so upset because she had let me go, and he was like, why are you so upset? You complain about going there every day. But he's like, and all you do talk about is this, that you see a different side of aesthetics. And what I saw is that at the time, this was 2016, there was either medi spas doing the like injectables and all that stuff. But at that time, there wasn't any wellness twist on it at all. It was very invasive stuff, the hardcore CO2 lasers, fillers. And that seemed like that was the only options. And it also seemed like the only people that had access to that were kind of like the who's who, and that had a lot of disposable income. And it bothered me because as a nurse, I was like, okay, but there's this in-between area. And I had actually done on the side a lot of weight loss coaching with classic network marketing programs. And so I just saw how there was still this kind of like middle area and where people wanted to feel and look better, but they couldn't access like a med spa, and they didn't necessarily want that. And so I just saw it. And then I think you asked me a different question. I'm so sorry about I'm just jumping right to that. But, it was really funny because it's like, okay, I have that's what it was. So I got the machine, and but I've never owned a business, much less a brick and mortar. It would have been probably smartest to just do it out of my home or something and make some cash back and then go, but I didn't. I was like, I saw this vision of a wellness center. Even though I only had the one red light, what I saw the red light being was a way to connect with people and to motivate them to want to also be healthy while losing weight. So my original business name was actually Sculpt Weight Loss.
I just want to stop real quick because you said something that I hope everyone here at CryoCon hears. Your business is not the unit that you have. It's not the machine. Mm-mm. It's a way to connect with the people to whatever their outcomes are.
Yeah, and isn't that funny? Because I 2016 launched Sculpt Weight Loss, but with a red light machine, and that because that was my vision. That's what I saw and that's how I connected with people when they came in. And so because I had no money, luckily in town where we lived, there was a kind of like a Groupon. Mm-hmm. It just was a local named one. And it was doing really well and had a large database. And so thank goodness for them, because it allowed me to have zero marketing money, but to at least get intro specials in the door. So we launched our business with $49 coupons, essentially. They would get 4 body sculpting sessions. But what I would do is they didn't get to access their 4 sessions until they came in and sat with me for an hour consultation. And, of course, and so I had to learn how to hold accountability and be firm. And because when you ever do, people at CryoCon know, or if you're listening to this, that whenever you've done like an intro special thing, people are like, I just want the deal. I don't want to be upsold. Like, I'm just here for the special, And so it was a tough way to start, to get just flooded with people that only wanted the deal. But I really held space for, the way I looked at it is, you don't get the deal unless you're willing to trade me time to explain to you how this works. And I actually am going to demand that you get results. That's what I would tell people. I'm like, you have to sit with me so I can explain how to get best results, because I'm not going to have you, I know what you want. You want to look and feel better, and I'm not going to let you do that without understanding how the lights work and how you need to eat and what the water you need to drink and all of that. And so what I would do is, after an hour conversation and really asking questions about what they really wanted, I would convert them to, before they started, of course, if they committed to longer sessions or bigger package, they got a special in the consult. So that was my first 18 months in business, was just day in, day out. There was weeks I did 52 consults, and they're an hour long. And we, our first 12 months of revenue was almost $400,000.
Wow. Now, hold on. I just want to say this, because I know everyone hears this and like, that's great. But like, we talk a lot about this on this podcast. So let's just say the first 2 weeks you were doing this, the Groupon launches, because we all had those Groupon people.
Yeah.
Do you remember roughly like what your closing rate was? Because I'm guaranteed it wasn't all yeses. I'm sure there was a lot of people who were pissed off and just wanted their session.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was, I'm pretty sure I was at 40%.
Okay. It's not too bad. That's really good actually for an intro.
For $49 to my smallest package was $10.89, I think. And the biggest one was $3,600.
So I think the biggest thing I want to hear, because I hear all the time, I can't do intro offers, I can't convert Facebook ads and stuff, is, guys, you're going to get no's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just part of the game, and you have to have some, like you said, you have to create some boundaries and hold some space that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think, would you agree, as long as you have the conviction to know that you're trying to help these people, it makes all the difference?
And, I am told that a lot, and that it was, that's been really interesting to try to like duplicate myself, is finding that conviction and the passion. And I've been able to do that, but that's where it starts. Like, was so convicted and so passionate and so excited. Like, they would come in, and they're thinking they just bought, like, the consumer was not used to someone saying like, I really want to get to know you, I want to talk to you. I think there was that aspect of it too. I mean, in the end of some of these consults, I'd be like crying, and I still can remember some of these people's, so many of these stories in their lives and what they really were wanting, right? Like, they didn't feel confident anymore. Like, they weren't really, they're not even buying the $49 special because they want to try it and go on to the next thing. Like, people are looking for hope and a change. And so some of the consults got very emotional, and we really connected. And still to this day, some of those first intro people are still our clients.
Well, it's crazy. I mean, so I live in a small community, and I had a facility there, and I'm like you, I did hundreds of consults. I can see someone in the store and be like, ooh, she was the one that wanted to look better for her husband naked, and they want to leave the lights on. Like, you have
exactly,
because it gets deep. Because guys, no one in this day and age is listening to people unless they're going to a therapist.
Yeah,
you're hearing stuff that she's never said before, and I say she because it tends to be more females.
Oh yeah, we were like all female. Yeah,
but like, if you can make them, there's a quote out there. It's like, being heard is so close to being loved. Most people can't tell the difference.
Oh, I've never heard that. That's so good.
So like, if you can hear someone and genuinely connect and empathize, they don't even care what you're selling anymore. They just want more of that.
Yes. Yeah. And then what happened, I started to get a little bit of I don't know about ego, but my vision, I just got so excited because I'll never forget my first tax full year. And I sat in front of the accountant that I was in like a networking group with, a BNI.
Like, I love those breakfasts.
Yes. Yeah. And don't you dare miss a meeting.
Oh man, they're strict.
And so I sat in front of him, and he sits down. He's like, okay, so just remember, what I always talk about is it's okay that you didn't make money. And I remember I handed him everything, and he kept like flipping through, and he was like so confused. He's like, I've never seen this before. He's like, you literally made a net profit your first year in business. I'm like, and the funny thing is that's probably like margin wise, the most net profit year I've ever had.
Oh, okay, I'm going to stop you right there. I was telling the story to someone this morning, but some of you come to me, and I do a lot of consulting, and you do this, and like, I want multiple locations. I want a franchise. And it's like, guys, I made more money in my garage
Swear, yeah.
training people at one point than I've ever had in any of my facilities. And it was a lot less stress too.
A lot less stress. I say that all the time. I miss those days. Like I wish I could go back and appreciate it. Because what I thought is that I remember this too. The one thing he told me is just keep doing what you're doing. Don't grow too fast. And I did the exact opposite. I was like, I almost
spirit animal, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, kind of like, well, I'll show him. And then so then it was like, I need more. And I did always have the vision that it would be a full wellness center. Like I wanted, because what I would see is they would do their 12 light sessions, their 24 light sessions, and I didn't want them to stop coming, because it's red light. So they're sitting there for 20 minutes. We made them do brain tap too. If you did our red lights for the 20 minutes, you didn't have a choice. You actually had to do the brain tap. And you had to do body composition every 4 sessions.